Hi guys, Pete here, N6QW, and I'm spending a little time demonstrating a transceiver that I built at the very end of 2012 and really got it kind of functioning about 2013, so it's about 5 years ago. And this is my KWM-4, which is essentially my version of a solid-state KWM-2 from Collins. This is all homebrew and uses a 455 kilohertz mechanical filter in the second IF. The first IF uses a 10.7 megahertz. So the first conversion is everything is down to 10.7 megahertz, and then I was able to luckily find a 10.245 megahertz crystal. That's a standard computer crystal that I got from Mauser, that if you beat that against the 10.7 and 10.245, the difference is 455. I've got 3 crystals in the BFO, so one is upper sideband, lower sideband, and CW. So this is kind of unusual that when you put this rig into CW, and there's a mode switch here, lower sideband, upper sideband, CW, and tune. When you put it in CW, you actually are transmitting at on 455 kilohertz, and it bypasses the mechanical filter. So you're dumping a 455 kilohertz. It's a keyed buffer stage to the first stage, a bilateral stage, first stage ahead of the 455 kilohertz mechanical filter. So the RF does not go through the mechanical filter. And then on receive, you're receiving upper sideband. You could set that for lower sideband as well, but that seems to be the convention. It's fully band switched. This actually, it does not tune 30 meters because of the 10.7 megahertz IF, but it does tune 80, 40. I skipped 60 meters. I skipped 30. Goes to 20. It goes to 17, 15, and then on up to 10 meters. I think I could have put 12 meters in here, but I decided not to do that. Anyway, this is puts out about 5 watts, and my one regret, I didn't make this a full 100-watt transceiver. One of the interesting features, and I should mention this, this VFO here shown behind this LCD display was a kit I bought from Keys, K5BCQ, and it's part of the thing called SDR2Go. And so it has, I think, almost 1,000 channels in it, and we're only using a few of them. And I have separate channels for upper sideband and lower sideband, and so I set it up that way so that there's an offset in there when you put it on a specific channel, and I'll show you that here in a second. So that the normal modes of operation is like lower sideband on 80 and 40, and then upper sideband on 20 and 60 meters and 17 and 15 on up. But you can work the reverse sideband. That's because there's a numeric in there that sets the offset so that the dial is always reading accurately for the mode that you're using. And so the dial will change if you put the lower sideband or upper sideband in there, but you'll always be showing the true transmit frequency. Has some things such as mic gain, RF gain control here. This is the audio amp. That's the mode switch. It has an on and off power switch. It has an AGC circuit that you can defeat. It uses a modified form of the W7ZOI high-cast, and it does have an attenuator in here. And the reason it's got an attenuator on 80 meters, man, the signals were so strong that I had to put a little attenuator in there. There's a attenuation circuit that is put into the circuit to cut back gain on 80 meters because it's just too strong. So one of the neat functions, and I'll kind of show you here, is with the keypad. This will up and down tune the frequency, and so there you see it's tuning down. That's the 0 key on the keypad, and it's tuning up on the 8 key. And so we're tuning the 1 kilohertz digit here. Now, if you'd want to tune the star and the pound key, let you move the cursor. Here I moved it, so now I'm tuning in tens of hertz. So I'm tuning down, and I'm tuning up tens of hertz, and that's all done with the star and the pound key. So I'll move that over here, and we can move that up. There we go. And then I'm tuning now 100 hertz, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 15, what have you. And I'll bring that back down to 20. Okay, now the other nice feature of this is you can run it down to here, and it says MO43, and that's the memory, and there's 900 of those. And if you watch what happens, this is how you change bands. So there it went to 17, there it went to 15, there it went to 10, back down to 15, back to 17, 20, 7, and 3.9. And these are the lower numbers let you actually make some changes to some of the software procedures. So we'll crank that back up to get out of that mode. Interestingly enough, every time there's a band change that you change this, you might hear a relay click. And what that relay is, there's a whole banks of relays that as you change bands, as you switch bands on this, there's a 3-digit code created, and then I built a 3-digit decoder, and the 3-digit decoder then powers on banks of relays, so that on the proper band that you're on, it'll put the band pass filter in there for that band and put the proper low pass filter. So this is quite advanced in terms of building a homebrew transceiver, and I'm happy to say this is one fine rig. So let's go to 20 meters here, and now we're in tens digits. No hands on the knob. Now this is kind of an advanced transceiver. Don't see this in many homebrew transceivers. This is Pete, N6QW, demonstrating the KWM-4. This was a subject of an article in QRP Quarterly, and it was more of a kind of a yawn article. People yawned at it a bit. North Dakota.
Taking it easy. I was just
Murray's net.
I just came over to grab a screwdriver tip. I'm going to take the case off of that RF301, and I heard Murray come on and do some testing. He's barefoot, and he's an S9 out here.
And 6QW here, the KWM-4 with the keypad. Homebrew multi-band transceiver, KWM-4, my solid state version of the KWM-2, a Collins. It's got a Collins filter in it. First IF 10.7 megahertz.
Here, Murray.
Second IF 455 kilohertz. The first conversion frequency is to 10.7. Operates on 80, 40, 20, 17, 15, and 10 meters.
I switched over to that 857. I finally got the Mylar speakers for it.
W7ZOI Highcast modified by me.
Together with in the morning, and they couldn't recognize me. Well, yeah, I'm on the 7300 now, but when I was on the 857, the audio was so different that they couldn't understand me. Well, they could understand me, but they couldn't recognize my voice.
And 6QW here.
Yeah, you're running about 10 over. Yeah.
Keypad. Up down tuning.
He's going to be heading south on Tuesday. I think I would read my writing here.
Rhubarb net.
He's going to be going to the Felton train there is where he's headed for. The other thing that he mentioned is that he was wondering, you should give him the frequency of the 2-meter repeater for the club there. I don't have that. I don't operate 2 meters anymore, but give
Nice
him
smooth
a
AGC.
frequency so he can check what he's going through. Over.
Yeah, the 2-meter is 1.4.
Fast attack, slow decay.
146985. And
It's an S meter out of a 10-tech.
But the best way for you to get into our repeater, it's W6UU. And you could use Echolink and you would show up very nicely on this repeater. Ask him if he got any of that.
Al, did you get any of that?
Nice fast attack, slow decay.
What's the PL, Gert? You can get the PL.
I think, 114.8.
AGC off.
Did you get that? 114.8? Okay, very good, Gert. Back to you.
Okay, I'm going to assume Hal's last on the list. We're going to go back to the top. We're going to go to Ed, AG7 Delta. And I believe Ed is in an RV somewhere in the southwest. I want to check with you, Ed. Is your home QTH a Livingston,
AGC off.
Texas? Have I got that right?
AGC on.
Well, that's my escapee's mail service that sends me my mail. And I don't really have a home QTH now at all. I travel around, and of course I'm in the southwest here, southern end of Arizona, near Gila Bend at an Air Force auxiliary field in my motor home. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Well, unfortunately, I didn't hear the answer. Should I not put Livingston, Texas on the spreadsheet? Should I use something else?
Well, I've never been to Livingston, Texas, and I'll probably never go there, but you got to put something down, so you could put down whatever you want.
Comment? Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Livingston, Texas, those who, there's many people, families who are 100% RVers, and there's a, I don't know if it's a company or whatever, in Livingston, Texas, mobile airplanes just everywhere, and the mailing address is in Livingston, Texas, and then they get their mail from there, delivered remotely, shipped off to them whenever they have asked for it. So you'll never, where Ed or any of these people are, it just depends on time of year and what they're interested in.
Okay, I'm going to leave the spreadsheet alone.
Murray's net. YL net.
The net is now open for testing. So far, I have heard two W6ACP. I have also heard RX12, Janix, that I heard her on the Sedona repeater. I'm currently trying to change to the Utah repeater and having some difficulties. And I also heard Tina loud and clear on the Sedona repeater, very clearly, whereas Janet I did not hear so clearly. So I am right now trying to get tuned in to the Utah repeater. Are there any other?
Producers and stuff where the gophers are digging the holes and the livestock steps in the holes and breaks their legs and stuff like
Rhubarb
that.
net.
So they have this company come out that uses the gophinator, and when they blow those holes up, they
AGC
fill
off.
them up with oxygen and propane. Sometimes you see 30 feet of gopher holes blowing up with the gophers going with the smoke there. So they wipe them out real fast. But unfortunately, something like that couldn't be used here because I don't think you'd want underground explosions around your house in a
AGC.
neighborhood. But anyway, that's the situation with the gophers. So I'm going to have to go out there and dig that one up. I'm sure it was damaged enough since it was caught in the snare. And I couldn't pull a snare. I probably gave it a good yank, and the snare came out of the ground, but the gopher wasn't on it. So, and apparently he wasn't dead enough that he crawled off somewhere. So that was the deal there. Back to net control, K6TRK.
Back to Lou, WA6QYS.
This is N6QW. Is this frequency in use? Anyone around? November 6, Quebec Whiskey. Nothing heard. We can tune it.
Well, you are checked in QRP. Thank you.
WK7ED.
Okay, Whiskey 6, Oscar Papa India. Kid, you're on the payroll. I'm sorry, it's Lynn. I can't read my own writing. It wasn't late to chow. Alpha 7, Lima Delta. Good morning, Mr. Lee.
Good morning there, Delta. Solid S9 to Fallon, Nevada today.
Well, I put the power on. I'm probably doing about 1,200.
Sounding good.
My shack was cold out here, so I needed the heat.
Roger, roger.
Okay, who else?
WK7ED.
Okay, Kilo Echo 7 Pacific Northwest. You're checked in, Rich.
Thanks a lot, Dale. Have a good day.
Oh, you too. Whiskey November 7 Victor. Thank you, Bob. Hey, Bob, transmitting gang. You're breaking up or a bit rough with the edges. Your battery down? Oh, okay. Just thought I'd let you know because that's part of why we do this thing. Go ahead with the relay.
Roger, roger. Thank you.
KWM-4 and 6QW here.
That must have been Joe. Okay. Boy, I'm getting here anyhow. Whiskey 6 Kilo Oscar Zulu. Who else? Okay, I got 2 and parts of 2. The Victor Delta Mobile. Kilo Alpha 6, Victor Delta Mobile, you're checked in. Whiskey Kilo 7, Echo Delta, is that correct?
Alpha 6 Oscar, can you relay so that I can hear?
I have a Echo Delta, I was pretty sure, or somebody like that. How about a Whiskey Kilo 7? Couldn't be. Okay, WB7BOW, Rick, you're checked in. Thank you, nice signal. Did I have another mobile or portable or QRP in there? Victor Delta, I copied that part. What's the first part of it? Okay, Lou, no problem. You down there in California City today? You can get some wind in that area. Please be careful. Okay, who else, pretty please?
November 6, Quebec Whiskey, Homebrew QRP.
P6YWJ. Okay, I got a handful here. Let me see if I can get things working right. The Mike QRP, do it again.
Can you relay anything more that I can hear?
I'll get you. I had a Mike, I think, QRP. Come again?
November 6, Quebec Whiskey QRP.
Hey, Quebec Whiskey QRP. Give me the whole call.
November 6, Quebec Whiskey, Homebrew QRP.
Hey, November 6, Quebec Whiskey and a Homebrew QRP. It's doing right well.
Thank you.
Okay, one more time. Did I have one with Mike in the call, QRP? Hold on, guys. Okay, Yankee Whiskey, Yankee Whiskey Juliet. What's the rest of it?
K6YWJ, and I'm also relaying K6OSX. Oh, Kent and Clearlink. What's the kid? K6OSX, Kent and Clearlink.
Okay, got both of you, Jake. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Okay, you're checked in, Kent, and the A6ZE, were you in there? Okay, check in A6ZE.
There you go. QRP, about 5 watts. 40 meters, KWM-4.
And Hal, good to hear you. KK7E, it's been a while. You're going to be in San Jose this coming week. Okay, back to you, Gertz, in the net, W6SNV.
Bob, W600Y. Okay, got me almost.
Well, we've seen KWM-4 here and what it can do.
Everybody have a good one, W600Y.
You too can build a KWM-4, 7 3s from Pete, N6QW.